You're just gonna roll this edge on around just like we did the rest of them. Alrighty. So what we got here this morning is I got a little bit of time to work on this thing again. The last time we were out here working on it, we were rolling the fenders down. We welded a couple little plates on it. We finished the back, boxing it in. So what my goal is out here this morning is I want to get a little bit more welding done on these fenders, and I want to come here and I want to add to the roll on the side of this fender here on both sides, the lip. So I really want me about a 3-inch lip that goes all the way around the fender, and I'm gonna have to weld some pieces on here, and then kind of come back and cut and weld the piece it on there the way I want. Like I said, this is heavier metal than what a lot of people would normally use to roll a fender around with, but I want it heavy duty when I get done. So we're gonna do some welding on it, and we'll go from there. What I'm gonna do is just come here and weld this up. Bring your camera over here. I'm gonna come back through here where I made all my cuts at, slit where I can roll it around, and I'm gonna weld them back up to give them some strength. And then I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna cut some pieces, and I'm gonna weld them around the bottom after I shake this a little bit more evenly. So I'm gonna come around this whole side down through here, and I'm gonna weld this stuff up, stitch it up. All right. I'm gonna look for my cap. I got a welding cap in here somewhere. That fire burning top of my head up. I had to get my welding cap the other day when I was out here welding. I got a bunch of little hot spots up there in the top of my head from that welder. So I probably got some spots up there that ain't gonna grow hair no more. All right, so these here, they're gonna be too big. Bring your camera over here. These here are gonna be too big to just weld up. You can come over here a little bit closer. I ain't gonna hit it. So what I may do is just cut a piece of metal and jam it up in between there just to save me. I think I can weld this one here up. It's a little big, but I'll play with it a little bit. I think I can weld that one up. But these here, once they get a big gap in them like that, I mean, you can do it with just a welder, but it's going to take you a little bit of time to do it. So it may be faster to cut a little piece and jam it up in there. I'm going to see if I can weld this other one right here. It ain't, can be done, welded it up. That was a pretty big gap there, bigger than this one. So is it worth the time and effort? That's the question. Is it better to cut a piece of metal and go in there, or what it take 5 minutes or so to weld that up? Or is it just as good just to take 5 minutes and just weld it up? It depends. This here is thin metal, so it ain't really holding nothing but the covering up something. If you were trying to, you know, weld something, I guess that you got to have some strength to it, and it's probably best you know, put you some plates in there and weld it up right. But just filling up a hole with metal, I guess it would probably be all right. This is cosmetic here. This is for looks. Don't have anything to do with strength, where you're not going to be hanging anything off of it. But that's probably as wide a gap as I want to aggravate with. That was probably at least a 1/2 inch at the wide. It's probably 5/8 at the widest point, maybe a 1/2 inch. This one here ain't nowhere near the point. Welded them all up with no extra metal in there. We'll go to the other side. We'll weld that side up while this fender here is cooling off a little bit. So the same thing over here. We don't have any big old gap, so this side over here will weld up a whole lot faster than the other side. What we're going to do here is the same thing. We're just going to go ahead and close up these little slits in between there. There's a couple of them that are sticking out. I'm going to hammer back in where they need to be before I start. Get them a little bit closer than they are. All right, so it looks like we got them a little closer. And that's what we do. We weld them up, then we'll come out, tap them in, get them a little closer, and then I'll come back with the body work and I'll finish up what I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld all these up. There's about there's about 40 of them. So each one of them's between 1 inch and 3 inches. So it's probably anywhere from 8 to 10 foot. Woo! In fact, where is my sleeves at? Hard part, you know, you come back and do the easy stuff. There ain't nothing to it. I always try to jump on the hard stuff to start with. That way if I get tired and I run out of energy, I got little light duty stuff left. Don't ever waste all your time doing the easy stuff first. When it comes up where it matters and you need some energy and you ain't got nothing left. across an ocean. You ever swim across the ocean, it ain't nothing to swim across a lake. But I've done a whole lot of projects over the years, and a lot of them I've done single-handedly with no help. Just in big projects too, stuff that required, you needed 4 or 5 people to do. I've done them one man. So there's been a lot of stuff that I've jumped on. I ain't never been scared to jump on nothing. The older I get, I'm more specific now on what I will tackle, just based on, time. I value my time more. I kind of look at the whole project and see how long it's going to take, and is it really worth that amount of time, of my life to dedicate to it. This little project here, this is something I've been wanting to do with spare parts and scrap, and just basically just to test my skills. Just a combined skill set over the years, different stuff I've learned and different stuff I've did, as far as working on trucks, and being in carpentry business, and building houses, and just a whole lot of different skill sets I've learned over the decades. I don't do any type of drugs. I don't drink alcohol. But I was a workaholic for like probably over 20-some years. That's all I did. Work, think about work, get up, figure out, go in the house and figure out what I'm going to do the next day and how can I do it better. What did I do today that I could have did a little better? Did I waste much of my time doing something one way and I should have been doing it another way? I did it for over 20 years. And workaholic can get you just like a drug. You can get addicted to work. You don't really realize you're addicted to it, but it'll take over your whole life. You got time for family. You ain't got time to do nothing but whatever the next project is you got going on. I missed, a lot of my kids growing up just because I was a workaholic. Make sure they had somewhere to live and was safe and all, but I didn't take a whole lot of time with them because I always had work to do. And I felt like I had work to do. And really, I was self-employed. I worked for myself. I could have quit at any time, but I was just so driven that I wouldn't quit. And then, you wake up one day and 25 years has gone by. You don't have all the time in the world. There's nothing wrong with working. Ain't nothing wrong with being productive and getting things accomplished, but you don't need the whole world to be able to be happy and successful. You don't have to have everything brand new. You don't have to keep up with everybody. Basically, value your time. Because your time is, the most expensive thing that you're going to ever own anyway. If you don't own it, you just borrowed it. You don't borrow time. It took me a while to get to realize I ain't got all the time in the world. I do projects and we'll jump on projects and be 6-month projects, a year-long project. That was a year or 6 months off my lifespan that I would dedicate to something. How much is 6 months of your time worth? You put a value on something that you can't buy, something that you can't get back. A lot of people don't realize how valuable time is. And they waste a lot of time doing stuff that don't mean anything. Waste a lot of time getting high or drinking out, you know, doing stuff that half of them can't even remember what they did. I got a good friend of mine, he wasted, I watched him waste a lot of his time. He got hooked on alcohol real bad, and he couldn't shake it off. You know, nobody couldn't help him. He couldn't help himself pretty much. So I tried to help him. I couldn't help him. And he finally, you know, I watched him waste about 6, 7 years of his life, and he can't get back. You know, just staying drunk all the time, just about every minute of the day he could. You know, he would have a beer or be drinking or some nonsense going on. So, and I even let him work with me for a little while trying to help him, but it got to the point where I had to end up letting him go just because of the alcohol. He's a good worker, but he just couldn't control his alcohol. So I watched him for 6 or 7 years, you know, just waste all his time. And he was a real talented dude. He had a lot of talent. He could have did a whole lot of different stuff because I knew him when we were younger. And, that alcohol just got him. I didn't know alcohol could get people like that, like a drug. You know, it's the same as cocaine, like crack or anything else. That alcohol can get you the same way. When you're addicted, you got to have it, and it changes, you know, who you are. But he finally, you know, got pretty much rock bottom, and he finally ended up going to go get him some help. Matter of fact, he just graduated a couple of weeks ago. I talked to him from the alcohol school rehab, and he's still there. So, you know, he's doing good. He looks good. He ain't drunk nothing in probably 100. I think he told me 120 days or something. He's been down there. But it's just amazing how you can change a transformation. But he wasted 6 or 7 years of his life. You know, he could never get it back. It don't matter how fast he goes or how much he works. He'll never catch up on that 6 or 7 years that he wasted. So that was valuable time. It was, you know, just wasted. Could have been spent being, you know, more productive on something, or with his family, or with his kids, or whatever. But at least he got some help now. So, yeah, your time is one of the most valuable things you got. I enjoy, you know, doing stuff like this when I ain't working on the road for other people. I ain't working on my trucks. This turned out to be a little bit of a project more than what I thought it was going to be, because to start with, I had a muffler. I had one muffler that I bought that was the wrong muffler stack. It was an 8-inch stack. I got it from, I think, True Chrome. And they got a policy, you know, when you buy it, you order it, you have to wait on it 6 or 8 weeks to get it, but when you get it, it's yours. You know, if you order the wrong thing, it comes, you stuck with it. So if you pay $1,000 for a piece of pipe, and it came and it ain't right, it ain't got the right bend, or it don't match your other pipe, you know, it's still your pipe. You can't send it back. So I had a pipe that I had bought that was had a little different bend in it than the one that was originally on my truck. So I said, you know, I had it in the building. So I said, I need to do something with this pipe. I got it about $1,000 tied up in this pipe here. I said, I don't like the bend, and I'm not going to buy another pipe like that. But I don't want, you know, $1,000 to be sitting there wasted going to the band. And I had an idea. I said, well, I'll just take it and pull me a little base on the bottom of it. Weld me a little base on the bottom of it. Weld me an arm on it. And I said I'd use it for a mailbox post. And that's all it was supposed to be. You know, it was going to be a day project. So in between that idea, I ended up with all this here. Came out of it. So it was never supposed to be a big mailbox project like this, but that's the way my mind don't let nothing. I always say I'm gonna do it like this, just be a little better. I'm gonna do it like that, that'll be a little better. And before you know it, I've already took something simple and turned it into something major. So that's how this project came to be. It was gonna be a regular one-day project. Just to get rid of a spare exhaust pipe I had, and it turned into something different. So I ended up saying, well, if I do this, I got some old fenders in there. I got this in there. It ain't no good. I got that. I got all these truck parts. So it ended up becoming a project that was a side project for months long at the time to be able to finish it. But I believe when I get it done, you know, it'll be something to look at, you know, for a long time. And it'll be worth the effort. But if I weren't doing this, I would be doing something else. You know, truck-wise, I'd be working on a truck or cleaning one of my trucks up, some kind of, you know, new piece on it or different stuff. So this is specifically, you know, just a project for me. It don't have anything to do with work. It's just to see what I can create from nothing. Just a thought from the top of my head. Let it come out the way it comes out. All right. So we got all that welded. We got all this welded. Bring your camera up here and let's look at it. We got all of it welded up the way we want it. We'll come back. We'll let it cool a little bit. We'll come back. We'll grind it up under here just to smooth it up a little better. So when I put my other plates up here and mark them out, I don't have a bunch of choppy stuff up under the bottom of it. So we'll give that a few minutes and let it cool, and we'll come back.